Today I'm going to show you step by step how to break down this tent and how to fold it so you don't get any dirt inside if you don't have a ground cloth. Hi everyone, this is Andrea with Adventures and Dreams. After spending 3 incredible nights here in the Sierra Nevada mountains, it's time to pack up my tent and head back to the car. This is a great opportunity to continue my series about the Mid 1 by Hyperlite Mountain Gear. There are a couple of things that I do before I even start packing up the tent, and I'll show you that here as well. And then of course how to pack up the tent itself so you don't get any dirt inside when you start folding it up. If it rained the night before, you can use a towel to dry your tent to make it a little bit lighter. If the sun is shining and you have a bit of time, you can dry it even more when you just sit around and have your breakfast. And it's finally time to pack it up. Make sure you don't have anything left in your tent. I just look around in the pocket and all the corners so I don't miss anything. To make sure we don't damage the zippers or the tent itself, I close all of my zippers before I pack it up. And that includes the mesh door here, as well as the other door for the vestibule. It's really easy to loosen that magnetic strip again and attach it to itself, like you see me do here, before you close this door. I undo the guy line for the peak next, although this order doesn't really matter too much. Just don't forget your clip here, just attach it back to your door so you don't miss it. It would be a shame to lose that on your first trip. You can see here how easily the tent collapses if you don't use the guy line up at the peak, and that's why I always tell you to use it. I'm loosening all the other guy lines next, and I just keep the corners attached until the very end, just in case it's windy and the wind might blow our tent away. I always extend all of my guy lines to the maximum, so next time I pitch my tent, I have all the length that I need to stabilize the tent. The same is true for all the perimeter attachment points. I just loosen the line completely and then I pack up my stake. Next, I'm loosening all the corners here to extend the lines completely, so I can get my tracking pole out a little bit easier. I'm taking out the tracking pole next, but we could have done that earlier as well, but this doesn't really matter too much. I think the most important thing is just to keep the corners attached for as long as possible so your tent doesn't fly away in the wind. We'll close the zipper again, and then I just walk around the tent and put all the guy lines in the center of the tent. We're now ready to take the corners out completely, and if it's windy, I would start with the side facing away from the wind, so your attachment points are still stable where the wind comes from and your tent doesn't fly away. And don't forget to loosen the lines completely on each of these points to make it easier to pitch next time. If you pitch your tent on wet ground, it's quite possible that the bottom of the tent is wet, and it's worth it to let it dry first if you have the time. I don't use a footprint for my tent to minimize the weight that I carry in my backpack, and so I just want to make sure I don't get any dirt inside the tent by folding it all the way over and just keeping the ground part of the tent completely separate from the inner tent. I just fold it all the way in half and then fold that overlapping part in a little bit, and then we'll continue to fold it and roll it. It's pretty easy this way, and I haven't had any dirt inside the tent yet, but I'll continue to refine my method, of course. If I notice any dirt while I pack up my tent, I try to brush it away as best as I can before I roll it up. The more we take care of our camping gear, the longer it's going to last, and I plan on using this tent for many years. When you finish rolling up your tent, you can put it back into its bag, and I have to say that it fits quite well. That Hyperlite Mountain Gear made the bag just big enough so you don't struggle to put it back in. Don't forget to take out your tent again at home to let it dry completely before you store it. If you enjoyed this video, you will probably also like the setup and the feature guide. And my next 2 videos will be about the guidelines and using this tent in all sorts of weather. Well, take care, my friends, and I will see you on my next adventure.